What it do, what it do, what it do. What is that on my screen? What it's... Oh, man, I swear to God, it's always something. Let's do this. All right, there we go. Oh, wow, that thing was on the screen. All right, what's happening, y'all? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to another episode of the CM Show. Let me make sure you know we've been having some audio issues lately, so let me do a little sound test myself, and then we're going to get into it. All right, we sound decent. I don't know what's been going on with this microphone of mine. But as I always say, every week we go to war because we make it better. Yo, thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. It's another Tuesday. It's a rainy day here in Atlanta. Who am I? I am Christopher Markland. I am an author. What am I? Author, entrepreneur. I am a writer. Well, I guess that is an author, but I'm also a podcaster. But mainly, y'all, I am a lover of love. Don't always get it right, but God damn it, I love love. I do. Tonight, we're going to be talking about when is it over? So, but you know, before I dig into, y'all know I'll be getting all excited. Be ready to talk about this. First things first. If you have not already done so, you know what? No, let me shout out my folks first. Yo, y'all see it on my desk, but y'all make sure the Black Candle Box, theblackcandlebox.com. Go check her out. She makes these fantastic candles. Go to theblackcandlebox.com. Make sure that you put in the promo code CM Show, and she will most definitely take care of you. Also, Lord, hope I ain't getting the sniffles. Also, this is an adult show. But you know what? I'm going to say that for right now. One thing I will talk about, because I really don't talk about it enough, I love my books. Lord knows I have written 2 of them. So if you get a chance, please make sure the information is in the description box below. The 2 links to my books, Desperately Seeking Exclusivity and Desperately Seeking Pleasure. And I am working on I'm actually working on the 4th book, just waiting on the edits for the 2nd book to come back. Let's see, what other housekeeping things? I will be dropping the Zoom link in a second, so if you want to join, actually converse with me, where, we go back and forth and discuss, what we talk about, the Zoom link is there. And also, as I splash juice all over my damn face, that was goofy. Also, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please make sure you do so. Because I am working on getting to 1,000 subscribers, and I need y'all's help and assistance in doing that. Also, if you watch me on Facebook, make sure you just hit the like button, follow button, all of that good stuff. I need y'all support. Your boy's on the goal to get to 1,000 subscribers. Now, without any further ado, I think we got all the housekeeping stuff out the way. Well, one more thing, because let me make sure I put the warning out there, because I am, I do have a little bit of a potty mouth, so I always want to make sure that everybody knows this is an adults only show. We're going to be talking about some adults only stuff. So please make sure that if you are offended or, there's certain things that, it's like, oh, Lord, help me. I can't believe he said that. Lordy, Lordy, I can't believe he said it. Well, I just want to make sure that y'all know this is an adult show and we will be talking about some adult stuff. Let me shout out my people right here that are in the chat so far. Lorenzo, what it do, my man? Thank you, my brother. Thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting me. G Dubs, what's happening, lady? Thank you for joining the conversation. I see we got a couple more people that are filing in. So, let's get into it. I went to a NASCAR race, I guess 2 weeks ago. And at the race, I had a fantastic time. And I was like, yo, I could not, believe. I was like, shit, this thing is actually pretty fun. I was surprised. Real talk. I didn't think it was going to be as fun as it was, right? But one of the things about NASCAR, and if you notice, the last couple episodes have been about that because, hey, whenever I see something new, new experiences, new whatever, it inspires me to either with my writing or with this show. So as I was watching the race, obviously the guy that started the race, obviously the guy that finished the race won it. However, not all of the drivers did, not all of the teams did. Some of them, no one ran out of fuel in that particular race, but a couple of them damn sure ran into the wall, and of course they couldn't make it to the end of the race. So with that being said, I started thinking about that. How does that translate to us when it comes to relationships? How is it, the things that, we obviously want in our relationships don't necessarily work out the way that we want them to, right? That's interesting. All right. So with that being said, I was like, okay, why is it that, my bad, y'all. Here we go. So I started thinking about what are some of the things that let you know that you're not going to make it till the end. What are some of the things that will, as you are progressing in the relationship, you realize that, you know what, we're not going to make it, and it doesn't matter what level of relationship you're in, be it a friendship, be it a situation where it's a professional relationship, or if you go into a boyfriend, girlfriend type, or, any type of adult relationship, whether, whatever LGBTQ, whatever you're on, level that relationship may be, or, all the way up to marriage. So as I was doing research for this, I came up with these particular, I didn't come up with this, but I came across these, I should say. And it's the top 12 signs that it's time to move on from a relationship. Number one, when you live in past memories more than the present. Number two, when the relationship brings you more pain than joy. Oh, snap. Number three, when he or she expects you to change. Number four, when you stay on expecting he or she will change. Jesus. Number five, when you keep justifying their actions to yourself. Number six, when he or she is causing you emotional, physical, or verbal abuse. Number seven, when the same situation recurs or issues recur even though you tried addressing it. Number eight, when he or she puts little to no effort in the relationship. Number nine, when your fundamental values and beliefs are different. Number 10, when the relationship holds you back, hence preventing both of you from growing as individuals. Number 11, when you stay on expecting things to get better. And number 12, when neither of you feel the same way about each other. So, with that in mind, man, why's your boy in the dark? This is kind of crazy. Okay. What the hell's going on with my light over here? So, with that in mind, those are some, pretty interesting signs. And as I have gotten older and as I've gotten in different relationships, I have learned to appreciate the signs, because no matter what you go through in life, no matter what it may be, you usually have signs or indicators as to problems. The issue is that we don't necessarily pay attention to those signs until it's too late. So let's dig into it a little bit. All right. Number one, I wish I had these things where I can read them. Anyway, when you live in past memories more than the present. It's one thing, for you to enjoy the past. I mean, we all want to enjoy the good thing, the good times. In fact, one of my top 20 favorite songs is Alexander O'Neal's "Sentimental." Right? Being sentimental when you think about the good old days. Back in my day, we used to all of that other shit. Everybody has that period of time to where you think that things were the best. I mean, we all, I grew up where 90s rap, was the best, 2000s rap was the best, etc., etc. Whereas my son, he's like, man, what the hell is that, right? We all have those periods of nostalgia where things were the best. However, if you're in a relationship and you spend more time reminiscing about the past and the good times in the past as opposed to trying to figure out where the good times that are going on right now, then that's a problem. That is absolutely a problem. If you spend more time reminiscing, then yeah, you're going to have issues. All right. Number two, when the relationship brings you more pain than joy. As I have really started working on my journey and going through therapy, right? I finally understood that no one can make you happy. Happiness comes from within. No one can, can give you peace. Now they can give you a peaceful atmosphere, peaceful surroundings, in other words, removing the chaos instead of bringing it in, but no one can bring you peace per se, right? And the same thing with that is no one should also bring you pain either. And if you're in a situation, in a relationship where the person that you're with is bringing you more pain than they are joy, then yeah, that's a sign that things are not working out and are not progressing in the way that you want them to. Those are red flags, and that's a sign that the relationship is coming to an end. All right. Now, number three, when he or she, when they expect you to change. We all grow, we all mature. Like I just said, I've been, on my path, my journey as well. We all are, as we age, as we mature, not necessarily as we age, because you can't control, how you get older, but you can control how you grow emotionally, how you grow spiritually, and how you mature. So if you are, it's one thing for you to grow, mature, to evolve, but it's another for your partner to expect you to change. And if you are comfortable with who you are in certain aspects of your persona, as it were, right? If your partner doesn't like who you are and they want you to change, and that's one thing. If you're just a fucked up individual, if you're a damn axe murderer and your partner's like, hey, I love you to death, but well, not to death, but I love you, but you got to stop, chopping people's, yeah, that's the issue, right? Of course, your partner wants you to change and you want them to change as well. But if your partner wants you to change who you are at your core, then that's problematic. Number four. Man. When you stay on expecting he or she will change. We are who we are. Yes, we can grow and be better versions of ourselves. Yes, we can mature. Yes, we can evolve. However, if you know that your partner, if you know that you're a vegan and your partner loves a damn steak, but you're like, you know what, I'm going to get with them and hopefully maybe they're going to like his steak too, then obviously that's a problem. So if you're staying with them hoping that they will change, that is a recipe for disaster, because that is not who they are, and you are waiting on someone to change when that's not who they are at their core, and that is a problem. That is a sign that things are about to end, and it's time for you to move on from the relationship. Number five, when you keep justifying his or her actions to yourself. If you got to make excuses and make rationalizations and say, okay, well, they didn't mean that, or what? No, man. Again, people are who they are. If you're with someone, you tend to know who they are, and if they are if they have been constant, consistent, then and you have to make excuses for that, that is another sign that things are coming to an end. It's time for that relationship to come to an end, and it's time for you to move on. Number 6 here. Number 6. Now, this is definitely one. When he or she is causing you emotional, physical, or verbal abuse, you shouldn't be anybody's punching bag. And, you know, just, I know that I have, in my past, done some shit. I have done some less than honorable things. And I'm not going to be this hypocrite, be like, man, no, you know, I've done some shit. I've lost I've had some anger issues, some temper issues, all kinds of shit. And I've done some shit that I just regret. I've said some shit. Lord knows, I am not. Just less than honorable things. I'll leave it at that. So no one deserves to be on the receiving end of that bullshit. Nobody deserves that. No one deserves to be anybody's emotional, physical, or verbal punching bag. And if you are in that kind of situation, then remove yourself. Start making plans. If you don't have the resources, you know, reach out to any of the 800 numbers or any of the contact, you know, information. I don't have it up, but I think I will put it up, you know, at the end of this broadcast. Get yourself the hell out of that situation, because nobody deserves that. Ain't no love worth you getting your ass whooped. This ain't that Tina Turner, Ike Turner bullshit. No, leave. Get the hell out of there. That's not love. That is not love. And on top of that, it's not even love, them showing love for you. They really don't love themselves. Because if you're not able to control yourself, then that is an issue that person has. It's not indicative of you. It's an indicator of the things that they have going on within themselves. And if they're not going through therapy, they're not going through some type of counseling, anger management, whatever the case may be, then it's a recipe for disaster. Get the hell on. Number 7. When the same situations, you know what, let me do it like this. Let me do it like, no. Number 7, when the same situations or issues recur even though you have tried addressing them. Sometimes I think that even though you may have a conversation about the issue, that doesn't necessarily mean that the issue is addressed. Those are not necessarily the same, nor are they mutually exclusive. And a lot of times, if you don't address a situation as it comes up, if you don't get to the root issue as far as what is causing it, and again, I'm going to be talking about therapy a lot on this particular show. If you know that you are, holy shit. Okay, wow, that was weird. If you know that you are not, if you know, I'm not sure what the hell just happened. My bad, y'all. Some technical stuff. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about therapy a lot in this particular show. And a lot of times, if you're not able to properly articulate the issues that you have, if you are not able to properly talk about the things that are bothering you, then you're not going to be able to communicate that to your partner. And I know for me, for instance, I had a conversation just recently where, you know, even though I was a good orator, I wasn't a good communicator, and I wasn't properly communicating the issues that I had in a way that she understood. So even though in this particular one, you know, and what's going to keep happening is then you're going to get into a loop, a cycle where you are not going to feel listened to, and they are going to be confused as to why the hell are we talking about this again. And that cycle just becomes more and more vicious. And the more you keep doing that, again, that is a sign, obviously, that you're not either there's miscommunication, there are issues going on, or something of the sort. All right. Number 8. When he or she puts little to no effort in the relationship. There's an old saying that the one that's least interested in maintaining the relationship controls the relationship. And what that means is, if both of you guys aren't on the same page. Let me use, I don't know if y'all know anything about cars. You know, I don't care if you have an i4, i5, i6, v6, v8, v10, whatever, v12, whatever engine you have. If you're not firing on all cylinders, then not only are you going to have, you know, issues within the engine, but you're also not going to obviously be able to produce the maximum or the most efficient power for that engine to do its job, which is move the car. So it's the same thing with a relationship. It's a V-twin. If you're only firing on one cylinder, or one cylinder is doing all the damn work while the other one is just like, yeah, all right, whatever, I'm just here, then you're not going to move forward. And the same thing goes with this relationship. If only one partner is putting little to no effort in moving the relationship forward, that is a sign that obviously that relationship is not going to last much longer. Number 9, when your fundamental values and beliefs are different. Y'all, this is one of, in the Bible, or biblically speaking, or, in terms of religion, where they're talking about you're not equally yoked. If you are, I don't know, insert random religion, and they are insert random religion, and y'all are not on the same page, you're going to have issues. However, this one also goes a little bit deeper than this. If you are into certain things, certain activities, certain, the lifestyle as it's called, and you like to do this, and they're like, the hell with that, I'm not doing that, you are going to have issues. If you have certain appetites and they don't, one of y'all is going to be damn starving, because either you are not going to feed whatever your appetite may be, or they are going to start indulging in things that they don't want to be a part of. And what that is going to do is going to breed resentment to eat from either side, and that is just a recipe for disaster when it comes to the relationship. So again, if you and your partner are not on the same page, then you're going to have issues sooner or later within that relationship. Number 10, when the relationship holds you back, or hence prevents you both from growing as individuals. This is one where if you have someone that has to silence themselves or diminish themselves or not be their full self when they're around you, that again is a recipe for disaster. Because if you have to hold yourself back for fear of hurting their feelings or damaging their ego or not being looked at a certain way, because, it's like, all right, I don't want to be that stereotype, whatever the case may be. Those are things that are going to, again, breed resentment in you towards them. And on the flip side, they can feel that energy that's being pushed towards them. So those are things that if you are not able to be your full authentic self with your partner, and you have to hold yourself back, or if, it may be a situation where there's a job opportunity or some kind of growth opportunity for you elsewhere, and you know that for you to go to where the gold is, you got to go to where the gold is. You cannot just, expect to start digging, in the middle of a desert and find oil or find gold or whatever. You have to go to that mine and start moving it there. In other words, your opportunity is on the other side of the country, other side of the planet. But they're like, no, I'm comfortable here because, whatever the reason may be. If you cannot pursue your passions, pursue your growth, and be 100% authentic within yourself, then that is a sign that the relationship is coming to an end. Oh, snap. What the hell? Number 11. When you stay on expecting things to get better. Again, the gas light is on. As you move along in a relationship, just as you move along in your car, you are watching the tank. You're watching your internal tank, just like they're watching theirs. And as that tank starts to run dry, there's certain things, certain conversations, certain behaviors that are going to manifest themselves or present themselves. And it's a matter of, are you listening? Or are you feeding your partner? So either you are going to starve, moving under the false expectation that things are going to get better, or you are going to go and be fed somewhere else. Unfortunately, that is where a lot of issues come up, because we don't, going back, have those honest conversations, that real true communication in order to resolve those issues. But if you stay on thinking things are going to get better, it's kind of like, you hear people saying, well, we stayed on for the kids. Them kids ain't stupid. Them kids aren't blind. They know when there is tension. They know when there is pain. They know when those parents are off. And you're actually raising children in a chaotic, dysfunctional situation for fear of things are going to get better because they're staying there. No, sometimes it's time to get the hell on and do a good job co-parenting as opposed to staying in a toxic, painful situation hoping that things are going to get better. You know they're not, and that is a sign that things are going to come to an end. And last but not least, when neither of you feel the same way about each other. This is probably a tough one because I know a lot of times that, with relationships, it's obviously an emotional situation. As I have, just over the last maybe year or so, if that long, I've really started looking and developing a mindset of what happiness means to me. And I know for me, I thought that people and situations would make me happy, but it wasn't until I realized that, what? Happiness comes from within. Happiness comes from understanding yourself, loving yourself, and being key to yourself. And so I look back at past relationships that I've been in, going all the way back to high school, right? And, from high school to the military to, when I got out of the Army, that kind of thing. I went back and looked at all of those relationships. And I realized that, things changed between me and those women. And I understood that, I didn't look at them the same way as when we started out because I wasn't looking at them through the lens of a man that knew what it was he wanted. So therefore, if you are damaged, meaning I'm just broken, then I am looking through broken glass. And if you've looked through, glass, if you've been in where you've seen the cracks and the all of that stuff, the refractions and all of that, you're not getting a clear picture. So if you are looking at something and you're not able to see it clearly, like this camera, imagine if the lens was cracked. It would be a difficult visual for you guys on the other end watching it. You're gonna be like, shit, you can't see it if I'm moving one side of the crack or that kind of shit. So the same situation applies here. If you enter into a relationship broken, then you're going to see that person one way. There's a form of codependency, right? So it's like, okay, if I am broken this way, then I'm going to attract other broken people because hurt people tend to associate themselves with hurt people. It's a weird dynamic, it's like, okay, if I'm broken this way, then we're going to congregate together, But but as you grow and as you heal and all of those breaks start to heal, then you realize, what? That's not necessarily what or who I want to be with or the situation I want to be in. So that's essentially the same thing when it comes to those types of relationships. So that was a lot, y'all. That was a lot. That was some really, really good stuff. When I came across this one, and I really don't have any, visual outside of that, I really, 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 with this topic, just wanted to talk to it about y'all. All right. And it's like, yo, man, when it comes to these to relationships and things like that. Okay, there we go. Oh, this mic sounds like shit. Anyway, it's like with this topic, man, those signs of when it's time to move on, that is some deep shit. That is honestly some deep shit. Because when it's time to move on. All right, let's just call a spade a spade. When it's time to move on. When the signs aren't there. Now, does that necessarily mean, keeping in mind, like we said at the very beginning, talking about the different relationships or NASCAR, whatever the case may be, it's like, hey, oh, there we go. Okay, are you going to be able to finish the race? Are you going to be able to make it to the end? And a lot of times what you have to do is pull into a pit stop somewhere along the way because you're going to make it to the end of the race. Or if you want to make it to the end of the race. Now, with that analogy, what I'm saying is this, and there we go. What up, Mel? Thank you for joining the conversation. It's one of those things, y'all, where, if you know that there are issues in your relationship, right? If you know that there are things that you want and that there are things that your partner is asking you for, then before it gets to the point where you run into a wall somewhere because you didn't change a tire 3 laps back. Same thing with your relationship. Before your relationship runs into a wall because you didn't address the situation that they brought to your attention a while back. That's what it takes to make sure that things are not over. Okay? So what we're talking about tonight, y'all, for those of you that are just joining the conversation a little bit late, when is it over? When is it over? So I want to hear from y'all in the chat. Let me drop that link one more time. I want to hear from y'all. If you don't want to talk about your current relationships, that's fine, as we always do with the Zoom chat. In fact, there we go. As we always do with the Zoom chat, if you don't want your face to be shown, just let me know, and you and I will just be talking verbally. All right, let me make sure I got that set up. I just dropped the link. Hold on. There we go. All right. So let me do this. Test speaker microphone. Testing my speaker. Testing my speaker. All right. So I just dropped the link. If you want to join the conversation. Oh, okay. All right. So, Melanie says it's over when you're not trying anymore. Ain't that the damn truth? When you're no longer trying, yeah, it's definitely over. Hey, Larry, make sure you, please, sir, turn your camera on. For those of y'all that are in the Zoom chat, make sure your audio is connected. Also, make sure your camera is connected. I need to see you, even though, if you don't want your face to be broadcast all over the interwebs, that's fine. Just, make sure that I can see you so we can see each other. All right?
Okay, I'm trying, yeah.
Y'all, it has been a hell of a day. While I got one person in the chat getting started, but it's been a hell of a day, y'all. Your boy's been, it's been a day. It has been one heck of a day. Anyway, had a lot. It's been a hell of a week, hell of a month, hell of a year so far, man. But going back to what Melanie just said, it's over when you're not trying anymore. And I guess you got to ask yourself, why are you not trying? And I'm not saying you specifically, Mel. It's just a matter of, what is it that gets you to the point where you just say, what the hell with it? I just don't have anything left. I'm burned out. I'm tired. What is it that gets you to that point to where you're saying, you know what? I just don't have anything left to give. All right, sir. Are you ready?
I'm trying to get straight here. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Now you're breaking up. Yeah, you're breaking up just a little bit.
There it is. I guess I'm up now.
All right, perfect. I can see you. Yes, sir. You want your camera shown or not?
My video?
Yeah. You want your video shown or not, sir?
That's cool.
All right.
Cool.
Let's go. Okay.
Yeah. Yes,
so, welcome to the show, my friend. Tonight's topic, we are talking about when is it over. So, what do you have on that, sir? And where are you calling out of anyway? Or not calling? Where are you watching the show?
Georgia.
Man, that's a vague place. All right, so you're in the country of Georgia. All right.
I said Georgia, Kanye, Georgia at home, man.
All right, that's what's up. Hold on, let me make sure. Okay, so talk to me. What you got on tonight's topic?
When it's coming to an end, basically, oftentimes we start the race off wrong. If you want to do like the race analogy, it's like we started off wrong. Like we started out to be real. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, you can have someone entering into a relationship and they could be with a guy and you're a guy friend of theirs that they've been with type of thing. And then by the time you're meeting that new guy that they don't want their guy to know about you.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's a secret. That's like some disposition that the guy's in. If he ever finds out, he's gonna be pissed. Maybe he may be pissed. The relationship might come to an end as a result of that. When you could have just said, "Oh yeah, we were together back in the days." I mean, just go ahead and say that, and guess what? If that disqualifies your
Oh
relationship,
shit!
it
I'm
shouldn't be
listening.
a relationship. It shouldn't be a
My
relationship.
monitor.
You know what I'm saying? That's one example of what I think about when I think about like sometimes it's over before it even starts. Let me just say that because of stuff like that.
You know what? That is actually a very, very, very salient point because even keeping it on the NASCAR theme, there is a thing called a pole position, and with that you qualify to make sure that you get to the front of the front of the line. You are you make sure that each team makes sure that their car is properly tuned, is precise, the handling is good, all of that stuff in order for them to qualify with the fastest time. The fastest time goes to the first position, and then it works down from there. So you're exactly right. If you do not have your car set up, meaning your life, your everything set up to where you are the best qualified in first position, then you're going to start the race off at the back of the line, which means you're going to have to fight through all kinds of traffic if you want to win. That is actually a damn good point, sir.
That's yeah. That's just one thing I wanted to say. Just a little conversation I was having, and like it was kind of coming up that way, and I was like, I found myself having to be willing to posture to satisfy something that seems like it's doomed for failure. If there's too many situations like that with that situation, then I'm like, I wouldn't even go there. I wouldn't even try to foster a thing like that.
Let me ask you this
You know,
though.
like
Let me ask you this. Did you know that the situation was doomed for failure?
no, no, I'm not saying like I know it is. What I'm saying is
No,
it
no, I'm
has
saying,
more.
did you know at the time of those particular relationships, when you got into them, did you know that, okay, this is problematic, these are issues? Did you know at the time, like maybe a gut feeling or something like that? Or was it
Well,
something that was developed over time?
okay, that's when we can jump into your list where you say some of the things you were pointing out in your 12 reasons. It permeates some of those situations. If you started out that way, then it gives rise to some of these things happening that you have in those 12 issues that point out that a relationship is coming to an end.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, uh, uh, where is it? It was one that's reflective. Let's see, fundamental values.
Which one?
Okay, like the fundamental value. Number 9 is
Number
one.
nine. Okay.
Just say like if you're a certain belief system, and the other person has a certain belief system, knowing that one of y'all have strong values in that particular faith and belief,
Mm-hmm.
you can try to adjust, and the person might see you as a fraud, or they might see you as a convert, but you always something
Right,
that,
right, because you're not being
like
authentic.
I don't know, it's just because your cover will be blown at times. If it is a cover, meaning like you're trying, but you're trying. You're not just that's not something you was gravitating toward. You just got into a relationship with somebody that was involved in that. And you say, okay, so I'm gonna try this out. And if it seems like you're trying too long instead of actually, genuinely going into that area, it's like, nah, it just looks real. It looks
Right.
painful.
Exactly.
It can look painful, and like imagine going into circles with that on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? If you go into a circle where that person is well in their comfort zone and they believe around people who are entrenched in that kind of thing, and then you trying to fit in into that scenario, it looks like that.
Yeah,
Um, um,
you're
um,
basically a poser at that point. It's not authentic.
yeah,
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 and that can
yeah.
cause conflicts at home,
Yep.
and everything. So, that's just one scenario, but no, but that's not exactly what I was saying, but that's that's kind of sort of in that vein too.
Okay.
You're starting out you're starting out at a disposition, like you said, the pole position thing. You're starting out at a disposition. If you go to that track knowing there's something wrong with the tire, but you don't tell everybody.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You got some concerns about a certain part of the operation of that thing, but you're not telling everybody.
Right.
And then, like, one person knows, but you tell them, don't tell the person because you don't want to make them concerned or alarmed. They should be concerned or alarmed. They about to go into a race half cocked. You know it's kind
Right.
of half cocked, but you saying, you don't put them up on it. So now you don't expect them to get upset and want to sue you or divorce you or fight you or something.
Mm-hmm.
Once they find out, damn, you know about this from the gate. you knew that person over there was better qualified to do X, Y, Z, or that person had already had an opportunity to drive this car, and you didn't tell me that they hadn't handled it already. You know, all that kind of stuff. It's that kind of thing.
I got you.
You know, but if you tell them from the gate, they can make a decision and say, okay, they've driven before. Let me ask them a few questions, and I don't need them to drive it for me, but I'm gonna ask them a few questions so I can
Make
kind
an
of,
educated decision.
yeah, man. You know, steering wheel sticks a little bit when you go this way.
Mm.
Okay, sticks for you, but not for me. You know what I'm saying? Because I done handled it, and I know, hey, I'm sorry you had that experience. I'm good though. Or like, damn, you had that experience, and I see what you're saying, but it's not. Okay, I got you. No, but
At
you're
least
not
they know how to
giving them.
expect it.
You're not giving them the opportunity to have a real experience with you.
Right.
Simple as that. You know, that's all. That's all.
It's good shit, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate you joining, man. Thank you. That's some good points. Really good points. Thank you.
Sure. All right.
Have a good one, brother.
You too.
Yes, sir. Yo, that was some really, really good stuff right there, man. Yo, I just dropped the link. If you also want to join in, just hit the Zoom link. Please make sure your audio is connected. Make sure that your video is connected. If you don't want to be shown on camera, that's fine. You know, you don't have to be. That is cool. I just need, as far as showing you on the screen, that's one thing. I just need for your camera to be connected so I can see you, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I'm going to broadcast, if you don't want to be. All right. So with that, some really, really good stuff right there. What he was saying as far as, if you know that there are issues or potential issues or concerns, whatever the case may be, if you know that there are certain things that need to be addressed, then you have to communicate that. One of the things that I've always, been very, very focused on, I guess I couldn't find the right word, is, the big three, what I call the big three: communication, finances, and sex. Not necessarily in that order, but those three things you have to have them if you want that relationship to be successful. You got to have you got to have communication, you got to have the finances, and you got to have sex. And all three of those things are contingent on communication. If you can't talk about the money, talk about the finances, you're going to have problems. If you can't talk about, the things you desire, the things that give you pleasure, the things that you like doing, the things you like done, then you cannot engage in a good, healthy sexual relationship. Those three things, communication, finances, and sex, are the key for any, solid, healthy relationship. And then on top of that, that little space in the middle, that little, white space right there, that's trust. When all three of those things are in harmony, then you can trust your partner. But if everything is out of balance, then you are going to have issues. And then with that, the relationship is going to come to an end. With that, I want to, touch on something that, the last caller brought up, which was topic number 9, right? And with that is like when your fundamental values and beliefs are different. And with it's one, the point that he made was spot on, because if you know that you ain't about that life, you don't need to be about that life. You don't need to be in that life. One of my favorite sayings is you can't be a little bit pregnant. You know what I'm saying? You can't be a little bit Christian. You can't be a little bit freaky. If there's certain things that you like to do, like to have done to you, chips, dips, chains, and whips, all that other good shit, if you're into that and your partner isn't, then that's going to be an issue. If your partner is into that and you're not, that's going to be an issue. If your partner is a, Bible thumping, Christian that would make Jesus be like, whoo, man, I like that. If that's who your partner is and you're not, then that's going to be an issue. Being equally yoked with your partner and the things that your partner wants, if y'all aren't on the same page, that's going to be an issue in the relationship, and that's what that last caller was referring to. All right, I'd made another couple notes over here as well. So we those 12 signs, and here's the thing, y'all. Here's the thing. Just because those signs may be there that it's time to move on for a relationship, keeping the same theme that we've been talking about with NASCAR or whatever. Just because you see that the tank is getting empty, but you got 10 laps to go, but you got 5 laps worth of fuel. That doesn't mean that you cannot go into the pit stop, get enough fuel in order to make it to the end of the race, or top your tank off. The thing is, these are signs. So These are indicators, right? Just like that little, fuel light that comes on in your car. Just because it comes on doesn't mean that as soon as it comes on, you're out of fuel. No, it's telling you, hey, bruh. See, I'm here. That light comes on to warn you, to say, hey, there's a problem. It's a warning that, hey, there is an issue. Let's get it addressed sooner rather than later. The same thing goes for each one of the items that we discussed in on this, those signs that are there, regardless of what it is, those are warning signs that, hey, this is an issue. This is something that, hey, like for instance, number 3, when he or she expects you to change. If you see that your partner wants you to change, and you know that, hey, that's not a change I want to make. I am who I am, and this is, it is what it is. Not necessarily it is what it is, because again, you do need to grow, you do need to mature. We all do. Because if you stay the same damn person, that means that, we're gonna be dressing like we were back in middle school or high school. Hell no. You grow, you evolve, and you mature. But if your partner wants you to change into someone that you are not, then that is problematic, and it needs to be addressed. The conversations need to be had, and if they want to stay on that same path, then you know what? Deuces, it's time for you to go. It's time for the relationship to move on. For instance, let's see another one here. Number 11. Oh, no. Let's go back a little bit to where number 8. Number 8. When he or she puts in little to no effort in the relationship. Now that's something that in the chat that Melanie was discussing, where she was like, hey, it's over when they're not even trying anymore. If your partner is no longer putting in the effort, then that's an issue. But then let's dig into it. Why are they not trying? Why are they not trying anymore? Why are they not putting in any more effort into it? What is it that caused them to no longer want to try? What is it that happened to where they just say, you know what, I'm done. I just can't do it anymore. What happened? Is it something in their life that may have changed? Or is it something about you, how you moved, how you walk, how you talk? You may have put on 500 pounds and like, yeah, I just don't find you cute no more. Whatever the case may be, what is it about you that has caused that change? Larry said, or if you are too afraid to discuss your genuine needs, wants, or desires with your partner, that this is a problem. Yeah, you're exactly right. If you're not able to address, your genuine needs, your genuine wants, your genuine desires. Again, if you have to hold or hide who you really are from your partner, then that is not a healthy situation for you to be in. All right. That is just not a healthy situation for you to be in at all, because you are not being your true, honest, genuine self. And that is, if I can find it. Expecting things to get better. All right. I can't find it because the Lord knows that list is long. So yeah, if you cannot be your true, genuine, honest self and be like, hey, like Larry is saying right here, if you know that, think about it. We all have our core values, the things that we believe in. Now, if I will say this, if you're with somebody that's all wishy-washy all over the damn place, you don't know where they're coming, especially ladies, if the dude that you're with doesn't have a core set of principles that's like, hey, this is how I move, and you can take that shit to the bank. If they're all over the damn place, that's also a problem. However, if you know that you are who you are at your core, you are who you are at your core. I am that dude. It is, and that's just who I am. But if you're not able to be who you are, in other words, in order for me to make her happy, or in order for her to make him happy, she has to bow down and be all this, this wishy-washy, weak backbone bullshit. If that's what you have to do, if you have to diminish yourself in order for your partner to shine, that's an issue. Darius Bonner says, you shouldn't have to compromise though. Like we don't make compromises with our friends. That is true. I think to a certain extent you're right. To a certain extent you're right. In other words, you shouldn't have to compromise. However, you can come to an agreement, come to an understanding at the very minimum. There was a video that I played the other day. It was Method Man, and it was on the other show. On my Free for All Friday show, and it was a couple weeks ago, and it was Method Man, and he was saying that he was talking about an incident that occurred where it was about 10, 15 years ago when this was back when Beyonce was still a member of Destiny's Child, and so the three young ladies in the group, Kelly, Michelle, and Beyonce, they were at an event or at a concert or something like that with Method Man. Method Man felt like the young ladies were insulting him, and he took offense to that. The young ladies didn't know what the hell. They weren't even aware that he had taken offense to something that they may or may not have done. They weren't even aware of it. All he knows, though, is that he held a grudge against them, and it was a one-sided thing. What I'm saying is, you may think that there's an issue, and to be clear, it is an issue because that's how you feel. You don't minimize your feelings, because once again, that's one of the things that we spoke about. If you know that there's an issue, but your partner doesn't, it's not a matter of you compromising and saying, okay, well, they don't think it's an issue, so no, it's a matter of you communicating and saying, hey, this is an issue. I feel seriously about this. I don't like the way you said X, and it hurt my feelings, and I don't like it. That person should then be like, you know what? Hey, oh, wait a minute. There's a problem. Pump the brakes. They get all serious, and then it's like, all right, what's happening? And then you communicate and be like, and then they're like, well, you know what? This is an issue. I said I was going to do X, Y, Z. However, I can see why your feelings are hurt because of A, B, C, D. And because of that, I understand what I did made you feel a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about, it's not necessarily compromising, but it's more communicating. It's more coming to an understanding as far as, hey, I feel a certain way about this, and here's the reason why. Keep in mind, y'all, it's all about perspective. One of the things that I've said before is 6 and 9. To me, it's a 6. To you, it's a 9. We're both right, but our perspectives are different. You're on one end of the table, it is a 6. They're on the other end of the table, it is a 9, right? In fact, I like to do things graphically. It's a 6. However, on the other end of the table, it is a 9. You probably can't even see that damn thing. But anyway, so it's all about perspectives, and therefore it's all about having the conversations in order for y'all to be on the same page. So therefore, you're not compromising your core values, but instead, this is one of those pit stops that I was talking about. Let's go back to the old NASCAR analogy. The car's running around the track 200 miles an hour, and okay, shit, that tire over there is thumping. My left front tire is making a noise. I've been doing this thing long enough. I know that tire is about to bust, right? So either I'm going to go into the pit stop and communicate with the crew, or communicate with the crew chief as I'm riding. Hey, y'all, I'm driving along. There's something wrong with that tire. I need to come into the pit, and I need to get that tire changed. Now you get into the pit. You said it's your left front tire. You've communicated the issue. Hey, my left front tire is making a noise. That shit is wobbly. I need that tire fixed. You run into the pit, and instead they change the right front tire. You communicated your issue. You let them know, hey, that motherfucking tire right there, that is the problem. I need that tire. I need my left front tire fixed. You communicated that problem, but instead they fixed the right rear tire, the complete opposite. At that point, are you going to compromise and be like, well, you know what? Let's just meet in the middle. Change the right front tire. No, you have an issue. I'm not fucking compromising, because I know that if I get my ass back there on that track with a bad left front tire, it is going to cause me to have a wreck. And I am going to maybe possibly, unalive myself because I hit a wall. But I'm telling you ahead of time, it's a problem. If you communicate the issue and your partner doesn't address it, that's on them. That is on them. If they didn't address it because they took offense to the fact that, oh, how could you bring that to my attention? I don't like that. That's a problem. If they didn't address it because they don't agree with it, well, I don't. I think that tire is fine. Fuck you. That's an issue for me. Let's address it. Let's have a conversation. That is a problem. If they do not work to correct the issue that you have, then that is problematic. Larry says, at the risk of sounding like I'm hanging on to words, I try to stay away from expressions like compromise. It kind of has a negative connotation. It really does. To a certain extent, it does. And I think that's why, Darius brought it up earlier. Because especially for men, I think for men, compromise does have a slightly negative connotation to it, because you feel like you are in a compromise. There are no winners. It's just two losers agreeing how they're going to lose. It's sometimes how I think a lot of us take it. It's not, I think there's a difference between a compromise and a win-win. In other words, we both can't get there, but how can we both find a way for us to win? You're asking me for this, I'm asking you for that. How can we both work together in order to find the win-win in that situation? Not necessarily compromising where I am giving. It's a lose-win situation. No, it's how can we both win? It's a difference without a distinction. But like Larry says, there is something to be said about the connotation of it. Especially for us dudes, because y'all ladies gonna probably go, hey, I'm gonna hear about this one. But I think that us men, I'm talking about real dudes. Anyway. I think that this era that we're living in is problematic in a lot of ways for male-female dynamic relationships, because men, you hear this thing about toxic masculinity and all this other dumb shit, but in reality it's just divine masculinity. Men are men, women are women. We're going to keep it pushing. Now, once we get into the other aspects, of this modern era, as far as, gender recognition, that's something different. Just speaking along the lines of male, female, I think that men feel, how can I say this shit? Fuck it. A lot of men feel like if you are a man, you're going to get your ass ran the hell over. So a lot of dudes fall back and don't necessarily speak and say certain things, especially in certain social settings, because you will get your ass canceled and you're gonna get put on blast. Hell, I'll probably get put on blast for just saying that. So a lot of dudes, instead of saying, hey, no, we ain't doing that shit, we're gonna do this. Instead, it's like, you know what? Hey, babe, let's compromise. Okay, we don't. And it over time, that negative connotation for men develops, because it's like, man, I'm sick of compromising, man. I want to do that. We are going to do that. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. And as a man, I need to admit it. But I think a lot of dudes like, fuck it, we're going to do that. And when that drives you off a cliff, there's no, man, you know what? I wanted us to do that. That didn't work, that was a mistake on my part. I learned from it. No, a lot of dudes like, man, no, we don't take accountability on certain things too. So I think that's, a long-winded way of saying why the negative connotation that does come from, the word compromise. Instead of finding a win-win, we instead compromise, which means that we give and we acquiesce in order for the situation to move forward. Y'all, it's been a hell of a night, hell of a conversation. About to wrap this one up. I appreciate y'all joining in on the chat, on the conversation. But before we do, what the hell? There we go. As always, y'all, I have been really talking about my books because, I'm an author. As y'all can see on the left, you have Desperately Seeking Exclusivity and Desperately Seeking Pleasure. Those are my first two books. Those are available now. Information on how you can purchase them is down below. Desperately Seeking Clarity is going to be coming soon. Now, y'all raggedy ass Leos, y'all been asking about this. It's y'all's time to shine. That's right, Leo season is around the corner. Leo season. That's next week. We're going to be talking about Leos. I'm raggedy. Let me stop. I'm sorry. My daughter's a Leo. Yeah, married to Leo. Them y'all Leos, boy, I tell you. Anyway, we're gonna be talking about Leos next week. So on the next episode of the CM show is going to be Leo season. We are going to be talking about Leos, and of course we're gonna have our guest. She is going to be breaking down, the signs of a Leo, etc., etc. And of course, this week is Free for All Friday. And y'all, I actually enjoyed this Free for All Friday thing. But this week we're gonna be talking about a couple things. We're gonna be talking about damn, I can't even find my notes. We got a couple things on tap for that. Shit. Let's see. It's like I just had a serious brain fart. Anyway, we're going to be talking about Deshaun Watson and his happy endings. We're going to be talking about Trick Daddy, where he's talking about he's going to allow his wife to date. And then we're going to be talking about Ricky Martin and his nephew. And also we're going to be just a couple other things. Erykah Badu, Turk and that Booty. We're going to be talking about that and a couple other things on the next episode of Free for All, the Free for All Friday episode of the CM show. Y'all, thank you for joining me tonight. This has been a fun show. Look forward to seeing y'all both Friday and next week, and of course moving forward as well as we take on different topics. If also, if there's certain aspects, certain things you may want to talk about, feel free to drop topic suggestions in the comments. It's like, yo, Chris, I really want you to talk about X, Y, and Z. I think this would make for a good topic. Drop it. Who knows? We may run it. So, also, same thing for the Free for All Friday, too. It's like, hey, Chris, did you hear about this? Yo, let me know so we can talk about it. It may be on the show. Y'all, I appreciate y'all coming through tonight. Thank you for joining the conversation. As always, y'all, have a good week, and y'all stay determined. Have a good one.